You're not so dry under the armpits or between the thighs, but...
Eavesdroppin.
Hello there.
Hiya, hiya.
Hiya, hiya, hiya.
Do you remember that song
No.
from the 70s? Oh, nana, hiya.
Yes.
Nana, hiya, hiya.
Yes.
That's what
Hello,
you did. Nana.
Hello, Nana.
Hiya, Nana. Nana, hiya.
Hang on. Does that mean you're calling me a Nana?
Maybe.
Oh, you bitch.
You bitch.
Straight off the bat. The bitchiness has begun.
Ah! Nay, that's Swedish for no.
Yes, we all know that. It's also Danish for no. That's good. So the Duolingo's working. It's starting to take.
Only barely. I sent you a streak freeze the other day.
Thank you, because I've been out of area. I haven't had... Thank you for that. And I sent you one recently as well, just saying.
What?
I'm pretty sure I sent you one.
No, that was someone else.
No, I've only got like 2 friends. And
Okay.
you're really on form today, Poison Dwarf. What's going on?
No. What? Did you just call me a dwarf?
Poison Dwarf.
Oh my God. Who's the bitch now?
I know. Well, if you can give it and you can't take it.
I can take it all. I didn't think it was so mean. Nana hiya. Anyway, hiya.
Why are you calling me Nana? I'm not a Nana.
It's the words of the song. Nana. It's Nana.
Right, okay.
I'm going to have to play. I'm going to put this on the Patreon. Anyway, before any of that, I think we need to introduce ourselves.
Yeah, it's gone a bit haywire. I'm Geordie. I'm the kind one.
And I'm Michelle, the equally kind one.
She is nice, really.
You're listening to Eavesdroppin Comedy Podcast,
Yeah, well done.
where you listen to us just talk a bit of shit, which you've already just heard.
You've already dipped a toe in the waters there, haven't you?
The murky, muddy
You can't see the bottom.
pond scum. Pondy, scummy. That's what we're doing right now.
I'm not one for a weather report. That's your job, Michelle. But yes, the UK is in the grip. This is the week. The recording week is the week of the heat wave. By the time this comes out, I'm sure it's back down to 16 degrees and windy and hail.
Yes, but right now I got an alert on my phone. 35 degrees for you today.
What the hell?
That is Australian
I
weather.
thought it was going to be 32. That to me is a lot. Australians, when you tell them, oh, we're having a heat wave here in London, or England, and it's going to be 30s. They go, oh my God, that's nothing. But actually, when I lived in Australia, when I was at school in Australia, I remember being sent home at 32 degrees or 33. 33 degrees would be sent home.
I actually don't ever remember being sent home because of heat.
And you lived in
I lived
a
in
very
Canberra,
hot-
and Canberra
Yeah.
is bloody hot, dry, beautiful heat.
A dry heat. It's dry. A dry
It's
heat.
super nice, actually.
Yes, it's lovely. People like the dry heat. You're not so dry under the armpits or between the thighs, but...
Actually, you never get that problem really in Canberra. You very rarely sweat. It's Sydney, you end up like a sweaty, messy bitch. Darwin, in the winter, actually, winter is drier. Darwin in the wet season, forget it.
What, you're just wet?
Well, I think I've talked about this before.
A very damp person.
Very damp, but I also think that the Northern Territory in Australia, because it's very damp, particularly Darwin, I think it has the highest level of amputations in Australia. Because your scabs, your wounds can never get dry.
Ew.
So then they just go gangrenous and you have to be amputated. So I say, if you live in the Northern Territory and something happens, you get a scratch, it's not healing up, get the fuck out, go to Canberra.
Get out of town.
And let that
Dry heat.
let that wound dry out, because it's better than an amputation.
Fun facts.
Fun facts.
That's what we're here for. We've got plenty more.
And that's all from the weather report.
Who knew that a weather report was going to end up as some catastrophic health anxiety?
Oh, God. I'm sorry if that's upset you, particularly to our Northern Territory
Listeners, yeah.
Very sorry about that. But I'm concerned for your health.
Yeah, but she is concerned. She is the kind one, as she said earlier. We are concerned for your health. We're concerned that you're going to enjoy this episode today. So therefore, we're going to try and make it enjoyable by talking about fun things. Did you know that we have a Patreon account? We do tell you every week.
I'm sure they know. Unless you're a brand new eavesdropper.
You can become a patron. Yeah, if you're brand new, yes, and you want more, you think, oh gosh, I'm loving this confusion, this chaos, this madness, this fun facts that are being presented as horror stories. I'd love more of that. Well, you can. You can have more of that. You can have interviews with really exciting Norwegian pop stars. You can have interviews with other people coming up this year. We've got some more exciting guests. We have videos. We have all the links and the television recommendations that we talk about on this episode. They're all compiled, tirelessly put together by Michelle here.
Yes.
Over on the Patreon. You have to be a patron of the Patreon. I think I'm getting the hang of that now.
Yes, you have to be a patron. You just got to pop a coin in our slot. That's it.
We love it when you do. You give, we give back.
Yes, we do. We've got some exciting things coming up for next month. So stay tuned.
This is June now. We're in June. This month's guest is going to be somebody that we've talked about several times on the podcast. So
yes,
hang on to your hats, ladies and gentlemen. As Michelle would say, hold your
horses, Nelly.
Hold your horses, Nelly. That's it.
All I'll say is this guest, we have talked about them a couple of times on the podcast. When they got in touch, I was fucking terrified because I thought I was in trouble.
She took the piss.
So did you, actually.
Did I?
Yes.
I'm going
to... It was you.
remove myself from that. I've just put myself over in the corner, in the good girl corner, and put you in the bad girl corner. That's naughty.
Nobody puts baby in the corner. I'm telling
one.
you. You were the one that suddenly it became about osteopathy. There's a little cryptic clue for you.
See if you can figure out who it's going to be. The patrons will find out as soon as it drops. But for the rest of you, we don't ask for much, just a little contribution to the entertainment that we provide monthly on the Patreon and weekly every flipping week for 5 years. Well, since November 2020 is when we were established. And here we are still. We've never stopped.
No, we just keep going.
No letters begging us to, so that's good.
Do you know, in the beginning, in those early days, we did have people who said, the naysayers, you won't stick at this. You girls aren't stickers. You don't stick.
Who said that?
Oh, we had people. We had the naysayers. Oh. And guess what? Look at us now.
Wow, look at us now. Well, here we are. We have patrons and we have what we call eavesdroppers. They're the people who love to listen week in, week out. We talk about them a lot. We've got Shari. We've got Charlene. They don't all have to start with a sh. We've also got Janica from Amsterdam. We've got Al Teckett. We've got Linda, lovely Linda. Love you long time, Linda, in fact, I think we call her. Neil the scientist. They become friends. Sometimes they're already friends. We've got Ren.
Researcher Ren.
We've got Jen.
Ren and Jen.
We've got Jen the hen, who is Michelle's mother. She never misses an episode, so everybody say hi, Jen. Hi, Jen.
Hi, Jen.
I mean, if we forgot your name, if we forgot to read you out, then I apologise. Oh, Kissy Apocalypse, Kiss Apocalypse, we've got him.
Oh, my God, how could we miss Kissy?
We've got Cal the Pal.
Yes.
I mean, if you are an eavesdropper and you do get in touch, we become your friends.
Yes.
If we're not already your friends. And we're going to give you a nickname, whether you like it or not.
Yes.
And this is from our White Witch. We've got Tamira, the modern mystic. But this is from our White Witch, Safka, who has written in. She loves, not only does she love casting spells and giant, crazy animatronic dolls in her house. This is true. She sent us pictures. They're over on the Patreon. She also loves a documentary, Michelle.
She does. And she gives good doc, I tell you.
She gives good doc. She sent me 2 recently, and they're about pop stars. And because I would probably, rightly or wrongly, I would probably pigeonhole Safka as a goth.
Back in the day, for sure.
Oops, that's my guitar. I have got a photo of her dressed as Magenta Divine here as well in the communications that we've had.
And she looked absolutely incredible. Incredible.
Yes. So perhaps still a little gothy, but she liked this documentary, which she sent me the link to, and I think I can find it somewhere more accessible because it's from Look Movie 2, and I couldn't quite get that. It's Billy Idol Should Be Dead.
Amazing.
It's about Billy Idol. Who doesn't love Billy Idol?
Everyone loves Billy Idol.
So sexy. Eyes without a face.
It's a nice day for a
white wedding.
Yeah. And actually, my favourite, Eyes Without a Face.
Well, I just sang that.
Did you?
Did you not hear me sing it?
Did you just sing that? No, I didn't. I thought you sang something else.
No, I sang Eyes Around the Face. Eyes About the Face.
Eyes Without a Face. Eyes without a face.
I said it right the first time. I sang 2 lines of it and you sat there going, yeah, it's a white wedding. And then you didn't even hear me say it.
No, it's because I was distracted.
Right, so that's the first one. The second one now, she's saying she is loving the Kylie doco on Netflix. Really brilliant, she says. I didn't even know it existed.
Everyone's been talking about it, saying it's really great. I think she got kind of the Beckham's treatment. It's very candid, opening up. You know, they've used that as the template. And apparently it's very good. And she needs a bit of a career revival. So good on her.
Does she?
I would say so.
Michelle is always the judge of who's doing well and who's not doing a single thing. Like Ben Mendelsohn, who didn't have a career because Michelle wasn't aware of all the things that he had done in the interim period between BMX Bandits and whatever the last thing he did was.
God knows. I can't remember. I mean, he's in and out. And he was our patron, but he's kind of on the wane.
Well, he's not done enough things for us, really. He hasn't written in for a long time.
You bastard. Get in touch, Bendels.
He hasn't sent us any voice notes or anything. Come on, Bendels. We could do with a couple.
Yes.
And who else did you think didn't have a career?
Many.
All of them.
Lots of people. Speaking of careers, last week or the week before, we did have a tele-rec for Euphoria, the latest season.
Yes. Oh, can I just interrupt before you say something? I need to make an apology and a rectification. I continually called Widow's Bay Widow's Peak. And that's wrong. Mm-hmm. It's called Widow's Bay.
Yes.
I'm sure Michelle has fixed that elsewhere.
It's on the Patreon. That link is...
But for 2 weeks in a row, I keep calling it Widow's Peak. And it was only the other day when I watched the next episode. I'm up to date, you see. I realised it was Widow's Bay.
Widow's Bay. It's okay. People know. We often get the names wrong of our recs.
We do.
It's okay.
If you're trying to say it's just me, well, that's not right. Because you've gotten things wrong as well.
I do get things wrong.
We get things wrong.
I said
Good.
we. But Euphoria, season 3. We had a rec. I have started watching it. It's good, but so different to the other seasons. So different. And it's getting a lot of hate online.
Oh.
A lot of hate. This season has gone from gritty teen drama to weird fantasy.
30-something.
No.
Oh.
It is weird fantasy film homage, I would call it.
But didn't your sister, Eavesdropper Steph, write in and say, please give it a go because it's actually really good?
Well, the thing is, if you go in watching it expecting seasons 1 and 2, you're going to be like all the haters online going, what the fuck is this? I guess if you go in thinking, all right, this has now become something else. There are whole scenes which are King Kong.
What?
Yes. So it's these homages to Westerns and all of these classic films and Godfather.
Oh, come on.
It's very strange. This is no longer a gritty teen drama.
They messed with the formula.
They fucked with the formula, and I understand why there's a lot of hate. But if you put that to one side, the storyline is still quite dramatic, a little bit unbelievable. They've emasculated Jacob Elordi's character, Nate. He's now this weird, simpering male. Very strange, because he was quite menacing in the other series. Oh. It is weird. Go into season 3 with an open mind, is what I would say.
All right. I would also like to make a slight anti-rec on the back of a massive rec that I gave weeks in a row. I've given up on the Comeback Series 3. I'm just not getting into it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to Phoebe from Friends.
What happened?
I don't know what happened. I think the gap was too long. But I do remember really enjoying the first 2 seasons during COVID. So if you do find it, give that first series a go. It was actually good fun. And the second one was good too. But then it was a really long gap. I do love watching her. She's great. I think if you're going to watch a show about behind the scenes in movies and Hollywood, The Studio is the one to go to. I will never not recommend that one. That is fabulous on Apple.
Okay. I mean, I had watched the trailer because you had recommended it and I thought, this is not for me. But maybe I should give it a go. Give it a whirl, as they say.
It's a lot of fun.
Telerex for sure. Telerex, one more. I'm watching telly. You're watching telly. We're watching telly on the telly.
It's the television. So I don't know if you're ready, Michelle. I got some things to tell you today, and in true eavesdropping style of late, it's a little gritty. It's a little bit of a tough listen at times. It's almost an unbelievable story. I'm going to tell you about Lori Vallow, a.k.a. the Doomsday Mom.
Mom. That's an M-O-M.
So she's American. Yeah.
Yes, okay.
So this woman, Lori Vallow, to people who knew her or people on the outside, kind of just looks like she's living an ordinary suburban type of life. Soccer mum.
Okay. Soccer mom.
Soccer mom, exactly. She was born in California in 1973. Her name was Lori Noreen Cox when she was born, and she grew up in a big Mormon family. Friends and relatives would describe her as charismatic, attractive, deeply religious, and very socially confident.
Those things seem a little incongruent to me.
How so?
The deeply religious part and Mormon, and then very social. I mean, aren't Mormons quite secular, staying within their own group, not terribly social as a religion? Have I got that wrong?
I think you might be thinking about some of the more
extreme versions of
Mennonites and things like that.
Maybe.
And no, but the Mormons are the happy clappies, the big Latter-day Church of the Latter-day Saints, that kind of thing.
All right.
Like new religion, like not new, but it's based in Utah. They've got a lot of wives sometimes, It's very social, outgoing, and they want as many people in on it as they possibly can.
Okay, all right. Well, Lori's a star then.
She is a star. And she's also a former hairdresser, and she won a beauty pageant as well.
So tick, tick, tick.
I don't know if she won, actually. That's misinformation or disinformation. She was just a contestant. She's a very attractive woman. But she did win $17,000 once on Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, my God.
The TV show.
Wow. Did I ever tell you that our author, Zoe Folbig, she was on a game show in the UK and she won loads of money.
Was it the one, goodbye, you are the weakest link?
No, it wasn't Weakest Link. It was way before that. This must be 20 years ago.
Wow.
And she did really, really well. Zoe, write in and bloody tell us.
Lori was also a mum of 3. But underneath that, there was already years of family turmoil and custody battles, allegations of abuse, and increasingly extreme religious beliefs.
What? What do you mean?
Well,
she had 3 kids and then she divorced, or?
Well, yeah, she would have done, because the first 2 are from their first husband. She was married 5 times. She had 3 children.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there was Colby, who's kind of much older. Then there was Tylee. And then with her 4th husband, Charles Vallow, they adopted a young son, JJ, who was autistic. But by many accounts, she initially appeared to be a devoted mother. And JJ, weirdly enough, was actually the grandson of Charles Vallow's sister. So basically her and Charles saw that they weren't managing with their autistic child, so they stepped up, they adopted him. And Lori's friends at the time said she was a very patient mother to him. And the big sister Tylee loved having him in her life, and she would joke that he was her baby. So they were very close by all accounts. But then things really drastically changed around 2018 when Lori became immersed in extreme end-of-days style religious beliefs.
Oh, God.
That's where we welcome Chad Daybell to the story. So Lori then met a guy called Chad Daybell in 2018 at one of those religious prepper-style events called Preparing a People. According to people there, Lori was instantly captivated by Chad, and Chad told her, upon meeting her, I guess, he said that they'd been married in previous lives. I'm not sure if a man said that to me at a conference, I would have gotten on board with that. I probably would have run a mile. I don't know if it's sexy or appropriate.
I think that if you have an instant attraction to someone and they say to you, we've been married in another life, I think if you're in the right frame of mind, you could see that as we are destined. We have been brought
Very
together.
romantic.
Yes, I think you can take it in all different ways depending on where your head's at.
Maybe don't open with it, but yeah, okay, I see that.
Yeah. Or if you're a master manipulator, what a line. Reel her in.
You'd have to choose your audience carefully, though. Chad was an Idaho author.
Oh.
So an author from Idaho, perhaps I should have said, who wrote Mormon-themed apocalyptic fiction and claimed to have had visions about the future. And he had a massive follower in this prepper and fringe religious circle that they occupied. And if you're not privy to the Mormon world of apocalyptic fiction, let me explain.
Okay.
With Mormon culture, particularly the fringe and prepper circles, there's long been a fascination with the end of the world. And I think that's what the whole LDS kind of Latter-day Saint church kind of bases it on. You know, repent now, you'll go to heaven. It's a wonderful time after everyone else gets annihilated. That kind of narrative.
And they're meant to be all inclusive and happy for everyone. Okay.
Until the end, exactly. But come on board, you'll be fine. So there's a lot of end of the world prophecies and preparing for the second coming of Christ. You know, he comes down and he says, you can come, you get to heaven and you get to heaven and you get to heaven, but you don't get to heaven and you go to hell. That kind of thing, I suppose. Early Latter-day Saints leaders often spoke about the last days, and Mormon scripture contains a lot of references to Armageddon, gathering of the faithfuls, and surviving chaos before Christ returns. And that's quite a constant theme through a lot of religions, the newer ones, and maybe cults as well. Not saying that this is a cult.
Yeah, but it is sounding a bit culty. It is. It's fringe cult.
Maybe it's the way that I'm presenting it. I don't want to offend any Mormons or Latter-day Sainters, which I believe they are the same. But here's a side note for those who need it. Mormon and Latter-day Saints or LDS are the same. I didn't know that before this episode. So that's why I'm switching it out. Now, here's another important side note. The mainstream Latter-day Saints church does not teach violence or doomsday cult behavior, but there's definitely a subculture of apocalypse-focused authors, survivalists, and self-proclaimed visionaries who've built entire followings around these ideas.
Right.
Our mate Chad Daybell, he's one of those guys.
He wants to be basically a leader. He wants followers. And not just likes on Facebook.
Before he became known as this fantastic doomsday author, Chad was basically writing Mormon apocalypse fan fiction. He published a string of novels about society collapsing, spiritual warfare, near-death experiences, and chosen people surviving the end times. These books were especially popular in LDS prepper communities where food storage, emergency planning, and the gathering of the righteous was already mainstay.
I'm trying to wrap my head around
the books.
Yes, because I'd never even heard of prepper before. I didn't really know any of this.
Before today?
What's prepper?
Oh, prepper communities. They're the people who live in isolated parts of countryside. They are self-sufficient.
They're preparing for the end of world with big stores of tin food. They're preppers. Okay.
Exactly. And their own generator, their own water supply, their own this, that and the other, lots of guns to keep the bad guys out. It's very much like Walking Dead or something.
Did not know they had a name. Did not know they were called preppers. I understood the concept.
Sorry, I didn't realise. I didn't know people didn't know.
Well, you know, I'm not a prepper.
My husband's a prepper without the Mormon ideologies.
Yeah, okay. Before Y2K, there was a moment where I thought, oh, God, I should really go and buy some, like, tins of stuff.
Toilet paper. Right.
No, not bog roll, but more tins. I don't want to be hungry.
No, fair enough. But you don't mind wiping your ass on a slice of bread. But then you wouldn't because you want that bread.
I want that bread. I'm not wasting that bread.
Yeah.
I remember at the time thinking, I'm not going to waste my money. I'm not going to stock up on tins because A, I don't really eat out of tins. Tins are not my jam. And B, it just seemed silly. So that idea went out the window pretty quick for me.
Do you know I can shop from my back garden?
What do you mean? Oh, my God.
There is so many tinned jars, glass jars, packages. My husband's just bought in a load of something called pu'er tea. What's pu'er tea?
Pu'er tea, P-U-E-R.
It's just a massive wheel of dry whatnot. I don't know. He's got it cheap somehow. He's also got sacks and sacks of grain.
Oh, my God.
Grains that we will never eat. Split peas. Who has that?
Are you allowed to go in there and take?
I do. I got some anchovies. That was handy. Anchovies. The other day there was some chili oil.
Okay.
I love that shit. And it's a pain to go to the Korean supermarket. He's obviously stocked up. Thank you. And thank you for telling me because I went out and I bought some.
Oh, but you've got to use up.
He needs to communicate.
I'm all about using up. But speaking of packets, this just reminded me. So Eavesdropper Steph went on a camping trip recently, not very far out of Sydney. The girls went off on a bushwalk, a hike, but they call it a bushwalk in Australia. Dingoes everywhere.
Wow.
They saw a dingo run to the tent next to them.
Yeah.
Steal a packet of ramen noodles.
Oh.
And run off into the bush. Then they had a 10-pack of 2-minute noodles.
Yeah.
Dingoes came, took the whole 10-pack, devouring them, ripping them apart. Steph said she had to get up, go to the toilet.
Not a lot of nutritional value in that. Yes. Sorry, she had to get up.
Go to the toilet at 5 a.m. And she said basically dingoes were circling.
I'd be pissing in the tent.
Yeah, and she said it wasn't really until that moment that she realised dingoes will take anything.
Oh, my God.
And they're not shy. They go right up to the tent.
Yeah, because they're in a pack.
The girls were on this bushwalk and they said there was all of this stuff in the bush. Wallets, pieces of clothing, food packets. She's like, dingoes.
Oh.
You put this in the context of Lindy Chamberlain, which is one of Australia's most horrific and notorious true crime cases, where she's recently been exonerated for that. My sister was like, yeah, dingoes take anything.
Could have gotten the baby. Yeah.
Yep. Scary.
Well, listen, going back to your question about this fiction, now that you know what a prepper is,
Yes.
I'm going to tell you about all of these books that are floating around in Mormon culture. There are series like The Great and Terrible by a guy called Chris Stewart. This is about where heavenly spirits battle evil forces on Earth during global conflict. And novels where terrorists destroy the power grid, civilization collapses, and faithful Mormon families trek towards Utah to survive the apocalypse. That reminds me of that Julia Roberts Netflix film, Leave the World Behind. I've written Leave the Wordle Behind, but what I meant to say was Leave the World Behind.
Leave the world
Leave
behind.
the world behind. Pick up your panties and
go, Jen. That reminds me of the stag do Andreas went on recently, where they did. It's not an escape room, but it's an escape experience where you're outdoors and all these clues have been hidden. It's the end of the world. You have to do all these things to save it. And it sounded a little bit like what you just spoke about, except it's a game.
A game, not a book. Because one author actually described these books as helping readers to prepare emotionally should we ever find ourselves in the middle of an actual apocalypse.
Right.
Beach read, anyone?
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
What happens if it's an alien apocalypse?
Well, they haven't thought that one through, I suppose. I don't see any kind of
Zombie?
link to aliens or zombies. But I guess they represent the baddies or the heathens or whatever. But
Yes.
Chad claimed he'd had near-death experiences, and that gave him visions from beyond the veil. And he was quite a pop star in the prepper community and fundamentalist circles, especially amongst those who were convinced the second coming was imminent. So here's another side note.
Have you seen pictures of Chad?
No, I haven't. Oh, no, I have.
Is he hot?
No one's hot in this, apart from maybe Lori.
Okay, because you were saying she's very attractive. I was just wondering, like, is he a hottie?
Well, he's not unattractive, but he's not my type. No.
Not your
No.
Okay. Not objectively hot.
No. And we're not talking about how hot Chad is.
No.
We're talking about the Mormons and their core beliefs, all right? I just want to go through it because some of you may not be aware, like myself, like Michelle by the sound of it. But the core beliefs are that they are basically Christians who believe in Jesus Christ as the savior of the world. And they use the Holy Bible alongside the Book of Mormon, which they consider is another testament of Jesus Christ. It was founded by Joseph Smith in New York in 1830, and today the global headquarters are located in Salt Lake City, Utah. So they emphasize the term Latter Day because they believe their church is a restoration of the original organization established by Jesus Christ, meant to prepare the world for his second coming. And their lifestyle, going back to what you said at the top of the app, they follow a strict health code, which is known as Word of Wisdom, and that prohibits alcohol, tobacco, coffee, and tea. And they place a heavy emphasis on family, volunteer missionary work, and community service. So they're not keeping themselves to themselves. They're very much out and about and socializing, living their best life as far as they're concerned.
Do you know what? Those values sound absolutely fantastic.
Don't they?
You eat well. You are connecting with your community. What's not to like? No booze.
I hear you. But perhaps the fear of imminent apocalypse and all that kind of thing, Armageddon, that would probably, I could do without that. Yeah.
Yes, not great.
But back to Chad Daybell, who may or may not be hot. Michelle will be the judge of that over on Patreon. And his fun books. He took these ideas beyond fiction, Michelle. And after he met Lori and they had a connection and started spending time together, they began to do what now? Religious podcasts together.
Oh my God. Amazing.
Yes. And by the way, Daybell, he's married. Him and his wife Tammy, they've got 5 kids.
Oh shit. Is one of their core beliefs, thou shalt not covet thy neighbour's wife? Because he's breaking the law, breaking the rules.
I'm not sure. I didn't look into it. didn't dig down into that. But Lori and Chad started to kind of wind each other up a bit with all this Armageddon and deeply religious stuff, to the point where they kind of started to believe that they were chosen spiritual leaders living out a divine mission. And weirdly, Michelle, what came out of their brainstorming, I guess, was this labeling of people as either light or dark. You're a dark person, you're a light person.
This is not going to go well.
It doesn't feel good right now, does it?
No.
And you did say something about zombies earlier.
Yes.
Well, according to them, dark people become possessed and they turn into zombies. And the only way that you can free the soul of a zombie, Michelle,
it's with a bullet.
is to kill the person.
Oh my God. I was just saying that as a joke.
No.
Holy shit. I wonder how you get labeled dark and light. And I think that does not give any room for grey. And we're all grey.
Right. There is no grey. There is no grey. There's no nuance in this world. And listen on and you will see pretty soon that it's a very fine line between light and dark.
Okay.
And I think the only people who can decide are Lori and Chad themselves, because they also believed the world was ending in 2020, in July, actually, 2020.
Whoops.
Well, it was lockdown.
Yeah, but we're still here.
We're still here, apparently. Or are we dreaming? That's what some people think. But Chad claimed he could open up portals to other realms. So we're getting really fantastical here, Chad. And Lori believed that she was an exalted goddess chosen to help lead the 144,000 survivors of the apocalypse. That is all.
Okay.
That is all that survive. This sounds like somebody mashed together Mormon theology in a Marvel film, plus Reddit conspiracy threads, just for good measure.
I don't like to say this, but it does sound borderline crazy.
Culty. Right, crazy, okay.
And culty, yeah.
Well, listen, at the time, it's no surprise that friends of Lori's said that her personality appeared to change around this period, and she seemed to go off her husband Charles as well, referring to him as a demon.
So he was dark, not light.
He seemed a bit dark, yeah. And by 2019, Charles was becoming terrified of his wife Lori's behaviour. He said she believed he was possessed by an evil spirit called Ned Schneider, and that she had threatened to murder him if he got in the way of her mission. Isn't that the Simpsons guy?
I was going to say, no, that's Ned Flanders.
That's the neighbour in the Simpsons.
Ned Flanders, but it's very Simpson-esque.
Ned Schneider.
Schneider.
Get out of my way or I'll have to kill you.
Oh my God. How serious is she with these threats?
Well, let's find out, Michelle. Charles went to the police. He was that scared.
Oh, wow.
And he told them that Lori believed she was a god preparing for the end of days and that she had threatened to kill him. And by February of that year, Charles Vallow filed for a divorce, telling the court that he feared for his safety and that of the children. Do you remember
They've got 3 kids.
They've got 3 kids, but I think the oldest one has moved on. They've got Tylee and then they've got little JJ, who they adopted. By July 2019, though, Michelle, Charles was dead.
What?
Yeah.
By design or accident?
On the morning of July 11th, 2019, he turned up at the house in Arizona where Lori was living with the children post-divorce. And he went there to pick up JJ to take him to school. But once inside, Charles ended up in some kind of confrontation with Lori's brother, Alex Cox. And Alex shot him dead.
Oh, my
now,
God.
Alex, I don't know where the kids were for this, actually. That's just occurred to me. Perhaps they weren't there. I hope they weren't. But now Alex immediately told police it was self-defense because according to him, Charles and Lori had been arguing. Things got physical, so Alex stepped in to protect his sister. And Lori backed this version up, and so did her daughter Tylee, so maybe she was there. She said that she heard the altercation. And at the time, police treated it as a possible self-defense shooting. The problem was, though, Michelle, Lori didn't call 911. Instead, after the shooting, she reportedly took her son JJ to school and stopped at Burger King and Walgreens, which investigators later described as an oddly nonchalant behaviour. You think?
Oh my God. I've just killed or...
Just saw my husband shot dead by my brother.
Seen my husband shot dead. I'm just going to grab a burger.
Before I call 911, because she probably thought, well, it's done now.
Fucking hell. No, this is... I smell a rat.
So at this point, Lori moved closer to Chad Daybell. Nothing to stop her, really. And her brother, Alex Cox, moved into the same apartment complex as the other two. And 16-year-old daughter, Tylee, she then goes missing.
What? No.
Lori and Tylee, plus son JJ, and the brother Alex Cox, all took a trip to Yellowstone National Park on the 8th of September, and investigators say this is where the last known photo of 16-year-old Tylee Ryan was taken before she disappeared. And at this point, things are already deeply disturbing, Michelle. A family friend later claimed that Lori had started referring to Tylee as a zombie.
So she's dark.
Yeah.
She's not light.
She's 16 and that's her daughter.
Fuck.
But then it gets worse, Michelle, because the morning after Tylee was last seen, investigators say Alex Cox's cell phone GPS placed him at Chad Daybell's property in Idaho, specifically the backyard. This is his family home that he shares with his wife Tammy and their 5 children, by the way.
Okay.
So he must have moved out of the house, moved into this apartment with Lori and her brother Alex, right? So Chad Daybell's cell phone GPS pinged in their backyard for around 2 hours. And about 14 minutes later, Alex's phone appeared to leave the property. Chad Daybell then sent a text message to his wife Tammy saying, "I spotted a big raccoon along the fence. I got my gun and one shot did the trick. He's now in the pet cemetery."
Oh.
To explain probably the newly dug grave in their garden.
Oh, shit.
Bullshit.
Now, prosecutors would later argue that text was not some random story about wildlife. They believe it was Chad creating an explanation for fresh disturbances in the backyard. And this is the place where investigators would later make a horrifying discovery, as you've already guessed, Michelle.
No.
But before that happens, little 7-year-old JJ goes missing too on September 22nd in 2019. Yeah, I'm sorry to say that. Of that weekend, Lori had a friend, Melanie Gibb, and her boyfriend, David Warwick. They were staying at Lori's apartment in Idaho, and they later told investigators that on the night of the 22nd, they saw Lori's brother, Alex Cox, carrying JJ into the apartment, and JJ appeared to be asleep or at least limp, and Alex was carrying him over his shoulder.
Oh, my God, like a sack of potatoes.
That's not even nice. Not like a baby, but like a sack, exactly. Makes me sick. And by the next morning, JJ was gone. And according to David Warwick's testimony, when they asked Lori where JJ was, she casually told them that JJ was being a zombie and that Alex had to take him away.
Oh, God. Everyone's dark.
Again, this zombie language keeps cropping up. And the frightening belief is that Lori and Chad had alleged that certain people were possessed or spiritually dark. And tragically, that was the last time that anyone saw JJ alive. And they just choose who's dark and light. So no one is safe, not even her own beloved children. Again, investigators noted that Alex Cox's phone showed that he returned to Chad Daybell's backyard. This time, he was only there for 17 minutes.
Oh, well, the grave was already fresh. So they just had to chuck another one in.
Meanwhile, both children are missing. Lori is still collecting their Social Security benefits.
Oh.
And around the same time, Lori's niece, her ex-husband, Brandon Boudreau, he survived a drive-by shooting in Arizona. Prosecutors later said that Lori believed his insurance payout could benefit the group as well. So I assume that they are extending their reach beyond, this is Lori's family. It's her niece, obviously her brother. So maybe she's the daughter of Alex, who's in cahoots and doing all the killing.
So there's a lot of financial motive here now.
But family, this is terrible.
Awful.
Then Chad's wife, Tammy, died suddenly in October 2019.
Oh my God, this is like serial killer stuff.
It's outrageous. Tammy Daybell died unexpectedly at their home in Idaho. They've got grown-up children, the 5 of them, and their son Garth later said Tammy died in bed during the night and that he and Chad called 911. At the time, the family believed Tammy had died of natural causes, but the Daybell children later said that they chose not to have an autopsy performed because they said the coroner indicated her death appeared natural, and that they believed that made sense because Tammy had reportedly not been in the best health just beforehand. But Chad had apparently told neighbours months earlier that he had a vision that Tammy would die before her 50th birthday.
Oh my God.
Convenient, Chad. Your very reliable visions. And then 2 weeks later, Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow got married on a beach in Hawaii.
Oh my.
With her children missing, his wife dead, and all their family members grieving. Later the same month, finally, the alarm bells start to ring, Michelle. About bloody time.
Really? I think they've been ringing for quite some time. Open your eyes.
Open your eyes. JJ's grandmother, Kay Woodcock, contacted police asking for a welfare check on him. She hadn't heard from JJ in months and was becoming really concerned about his whereabouts and why nobody seemed to be able to speak to him. But when the police went to Lori's house, she just lied to them, Michelle. She told the officers that JJ was perfectly safe and staying with her friend Melanie Gibb over in Arizona. Initially, Melanie wasn't fully honest with police when they approached her either, but not long afterwards, she contacted investigators and admitted that JJ was not with her and hadn't been.
Right.
And then they explained the last time they saw him. That's when the case really kind of blew wide open, really, because while police were desperately trying to work out where JJ was, they then realised that nobody had seen Tylee either for weeks.
Right, so now they're starting to connect dots, finally.
Yeah, but I guess they had a bit of a circle around them to a degree, even with Melanie Gibb, the friend who was there the night that they brought JJ in, deceased.
God, yep.
That she even stood up for her friend.
Yeah.
Briefly.
Yep.
This is where a nationwide search now began for the children. And the spotlight was shone on Lori and Chad Daybell, obviously, because they're not going to police saying, "Where are my kids?"
No.
They're not doing that.
No.
And then this became one of the most followed cases in America.
It's interesting that you say that this is one of the most followed cases in America because I've not heard about this. And this, especially considering the nature of this podcast, this is right up our alley. So I am surprised that this has flown under my radar.
Yeah, I'm surprised actually, Michelle, that we hadn't done it already. And I'm so glad that you haven't piped up and said, "I talked about this already."
No. Well, no, I'm just surprised because Doomsday, a little bit culty, true crime,
Yeah.
missing persons. This is eavesdropping territory. How have we not heard about this?
Michelle's getting cut. Geordie had a tear. Ben Mendel's loves brown lemonade. To you, that's a cold beer.
Crack open a cold one, love. Give us a tinny.
Eavesdroppin.
While investigators across multiple states were searching for two missing children, what did Lori and Chad do? They go back to Hawaii. One holiday getting married was not enough. They went again.
Honeymoon. Jesus.
But by December 2019, investigators began to grow suspicious about Tammy Daybell's sudden death. Her body was exhumed so an autopsy could finally be carried out, and then it was discovered that Tammy had actually been asphyxiated.
Oh, no. But the thing is, we knew that there were some red flags here.
Oh, yeah.
Really, really lucky they did not cremate the body.
Maybe it's against the religion. I don't know.
Perhaps.
But there's more. There's more madness and more death because then suddenly Lori's brother Alex Cox, the guy who shot Charles Vallow and the last known person to be seen with JJ, he suddenly died in Arizona the same month.
What?
I know. Authorities later ruled Alex's death as natural causes, though. So I'm not quite sure how that fits into everything. But on January the 25th, 2020, police formally served Lori Vallow Daybell with a court order demanding that she physically produce the children. She still wasn't giving them an answer.
That's because she can't. She can't produce those kids.
No, but she's not explaining anything. She's just kind of kicking that can down the road until finally police investigating Chad Daybell's property discover the remains of 7-year-old JJ buried beneath a tree. 50 yards away in the property's pet cemetery, they found the remains of Tylee as well. Exactly where Chad Daybell had told Tammy that he'd buried a dead raccoon.
Just the lack of humanity there.
I know. It's awful. They're children. They are children.
They've been betrayed by every adult in their life.
So shortly after these remains were discovered, Chad Daybell was arrested and a memorial grew along the fence line outside the Daybell property as people gathered to mourn the children and leave flowers, toys and messages.
This is so sad.
It's so sad, Michelle. In May 2021, Lori Vallow Daybell and Chad Daybell were both charged with first-degree murder over the deaths of JJ and Tylee. Chad was also charged with murdering his first wife, Tammy Daybell. Chad, of course, pleaded not guilty to all charges. Lori, meanwhile, was also charged with conspiracy to murder her former husband, Charles Vallow. But that same year, a judge ruled that she was not mentally competent to stand trial, because she's spouting some really weird things, don't forget.
Yeah.
So he ordered her to undergo a mental health treatment. So the case was put on hold temporarily. Meanwhile, prosecutors are announcing they're going for the death penalty against Chad.
Okay.
However, Chad and Tammy's kids, despite the evidence against their father, they publicly defend him. They chose to believe that Chad had been framed by Lori and Alex Cox.
Hang on, whose kids?
Chad's kids.
Oh, God.
Chad and Tammy's kids.
Okay.
They're supporting their father, even though these two children's bodies were found on their property and their mother had been strangled
Deluded.
or asphyxiated.
Brainwashed.
Then in April 2022, Lori was finally ruled competent to stand trial again. And when she appeared in court, she actually refused to enter a plea, so the judge entered a not guilty plea for her. Then, early 2023, the court decided Chad and Lori would be tried separately. Lori's trial began in April 2023. It was basically all shrouded in that kind of doomsday-inspired murder conspiracy. It was really hard to unpick, and the American public were glued to it. May 12th, 2023, Lori was found guilty on all charges, including the murders of JJ and Tylee, conspiracy to commit murder, and stealing the children's social security benefits after they had died.
Good. I actually thought, fuck, I hope she's not going to get off.
No, she didn't get off, and the judge called the whole thing a bizarre religious rabbit hole. She was sentenced to life without parole in prison, and then Chad's trial began the following year in May 2024. He too was convicted of murdering Tammy Daybell, JJ and Tylee, along with conspiracy and insurance fraud charges. And days later, Chad Daybell was sentenced to death.
He got the death penalty.
He did. In October 24, Lori's eldest child, Colby Ryan, who was missing mostly throughout this story, he is JJ and Tylee's older brother, he posted on his YouTube channel a recording of a telephone conversation that he had with his mother from prison. And in the recording, Lori claimed that she received higher knowledge directly from Jesus and was on a divine mission. She also said that Tylee and JJ had visited her in spirit and suggested that Tylee had accidentally killed JJ, then taken her own life in remorse.
How convenient.
Yeah, but luckily Colby said that he felt his mother was beyond deceived. Obviously, question marks around her competency to stand trial were raised, and she wanted a speedy trial. She did actually, during her trial, throw her daughter Tylee under the bus for JJ's murder. And she also said that she knew that God would see that the pair were exonerated. She also wondered aloud if she might go on Dancing with the Stars after her release because
She's completely deluded?
she's deluded, exactly.
What, she's a fucking star because of this? You're a murderer, lady.
Exactly. She did also receive additional life sentences, by the way, connected to the case and the conspiracy surrounding the shooting of Brandon Boudreaux as well, who I mentioned earlier, her niece's ex-husband. Also during the trial, Lori's got another brother, Adam Cox. He testified for the prosecution, saying that he had no doubt that Lori had conspired with Alex to murder Charles. And later, jurors told reporters that Lori had not made a good move deciding to represent herself in court. She did that. I forgot to mention that, sorry.
Why the hell would you represent yourself on a murder charge?
Because she's deluded. And also there were days where she was just sitting there smiling and laughing and didn't seem to take anything seriously.
No, because she thinks she's protected by this divine circle of God knows what. She thinks she's being protected.
She's just basically planning her Dancing with the Stars outfit.
Oh, God.
So I'm really sorry to have to lay all this on you guys, but ultimately it's a sorry case involving apocalyptic beliefs, multiple deaths, missing children, supposed zombies, near assassinations, and two people who prosecutors said believed they were carrying out some kind of divine mission. As you said, Michelle, why have we not heard about this before?
Why, indeed. But now we have, and it's fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
This is the second story in a matter of weeks where a mother has killed her kids. Like, what is going on, Geordie?
I know, it's appalling.
It's really appalling. A, I don't know why we've not heard about this case, but B, what a ride.
Yeah.
That was wild.
And it's no wonder that the media dubbed them Doomsday Mum or Mom and Doomsday Prophet. But if you'd like to know more, there is a 3-part Netflix documentary series, I'm sure Safka's already checked it out, called Sins of Our Mother, and that's from her eldest child, Colby Ryan's perspective.
Right. Okay. Thank you. I will link to that on the Patreon.
Okay.
Thank you for this story. I say thank you every time it's a grisly grim story.
It's hard work. I understand.
It's hard to say thank you, but thank you for your research and thank you for sharing, but fucking hell.
I know.
Too much. too much.
And I'm sorry about that. But you're here for the true crime. So I delivered.
You did.
True crime with a side of cult, maybe. Or a side of madness, at least.
Yeah, on her way to Burger King after she watched her husband being killed. What the hell? Well, there we have it. That was a wild ride. Thank you very much for that story.
Pleasure.
And I'm left speechless with 3 things left to say.
Bloody hell, Michelle.
I know.
We really need to sharpen up those segue skills
I
for the end. Yeah, what Michelle's trying to say is we are now at the end of this episode and we can say no more. We're just going to leave you to sit with that horrifying story going around your brain. Some of you might even be seeking out the documentary. Some of you might even be running to Patreon to check out the links associated with the story. Some of you might just want to go off and dance about in the garden and ground yourselves. Maybe burn some incense. I don't know. But yeah, Michelle said 3 things.
Wherever you are.
Whatever you do, just keep
Eavesdropping.
eavesdropping.
Eavesdropping. Eavesdropping. Dropping. Eavesdropping. Dropping. Eavesdropping. Eavesdropping.
Dropping. Dropping.
Eavesdropping.